at the Kings. And I don't want to look. I don't want to do the whole let's just be honest, guys. Like, there's going to be probably a lot of this because the next few years could. I will say this as. And I always take relocation and off-field, off-court things. You know, I'm not going to compare Tyrese Haliburton winning games to the relocation effort. I'm not going to compare it to Bobby Hurley or Ricky Berry and serious things that we've been through. So when I say the worst things that the Kings have been through, 02 is always going to be the one that hurts the most. But as we've said before, like watching Tyrese Haliburton and De'Aaron Fox win 55, 60 games and compete for championships. Like, it's not like that's a completely unheard of, impossible thing that we might have to be dealing with. Right now, however, we're dealing with Tyrese Haliburton. What'd I say? Did I say something weird?
No, I was just checking on something here structurally with Chris real fast. Sorry.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, because I'm a little loopy today, so I thought maybe I said De'Aaron Fox and the, Florida State Seminoles. Anyways,
right. No,
so
yeah, you're good.
With all the things, though, I was thinking about this, Jason, because watching Tyrese Haliburton, who the Kings stole in the draft, he never should have fallen that low. Honestly, he should have been a Golden State Warrior. They're the ones that really. And for once, we didn't do the thing where we passed on Luka, the generational superstar, and ended up with Marvin Bagley. That was our opposite thing. Everyone else passed on Tyrese. We got him. It was the first ever. How about the first ever draft pick for rookie GM Monty McNair? It's a pretty good one.
Yes.
And like, we did the thing. And then we traded him. And I refuse to go back and relitigate that with recency bias. I have absolutely no problem saying that Indiana has won the trade, but they won the trade in large part because, as we've outlined over the last couple of weeks, what they did after the trade. Had that trade, I would say it like this, Jason, had that trade happened, Haliburton for Sabonis, and then just take the moves the Pacers made and give them to the Kings, and the Kings got Pascal Siakam, the Kings did the things the Pacers did, I think we're having a completely different conversation.
Right.
That being said, all the years that the Kings have been around, all the crap that the Kings have put their fans through, have we ever really dealt with this before? Which is weird to say, but have we ever really dealt with like the one that got away and is just killing? I'm not talking about Gerald Wallace in the expansion draft.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about Davion Mitchell on Miami. I'm talking about this. Like, I think this is actually kind of a first for us.
Yeah, and seeing it in real time, from becoming an all-star on another team to being on the Olympic team, even if he didn't play a ton, that doesn't matter. He was an Olympian, to now being in the playoffs for a couple of years and having moments. I mean, that's the thing. Like, Tyrese is a really good player, but the amount of times, Dave, that he's been in the opportunity to have these clutch moments and come through is telling. And that's why I know you kind of talked about it earlier, like about De'Aaron versus Tyrese. I still believe that if the Kings were in the playoffs as many times here as well, De'Aaron, was the clutch player of the year. He played in a lot of close games and came through a lot, not all the time, but nobody ever does.
Yeah.
I think we'd be witnessing these moments from him as a King, but it's irrelevant. One, the Kings haven't made it enough, and two, he's not a King anymore.
I think you bring up a phenomenal point. It is a what if, and there's just a fine line between legitimate questions and copium. But I think the thing that is really sadder for me as a Kings fan than Tyrese Haliburton being traded to the Indiana Pacers and doing what he's doing while we're sitting here without a point guard is this fact. No, excuse me, this thought. It's not a fact, but on the back of what you said, I think if we went back all those years and the Kings, who many people wanted them to and was never on the table, if the Sacramento Kings traded De'Aaron Fox and kept Tyrese Haliburton, there is a timeline that is incredibly realistic. If every other thing went the same, that we're watching De'Aaron Fox and the Pacers doing what they're doing against the Knicks, and we're sitting here with Tyrese Haliburton, who isn't doing nearly as well, nor is the franchise. and we're saying, why would we have possibly traded De'Aaron Fox? We should have traded Tyrese. Like, that is not an unrealistic thing to talk about, because you can be as great as you can be, whatever, that's fine. You have to have a team around you. And if Tyrese Haliburton, that's the chicken and the egg thing. If Tyrese Haliburton is still in Sacramento, is he doing these things for Sacramento? Probably not, because the franchise probably isn't doing the things that they're doing around him in Indiana. And that's, I think, a very important thing to understand. That being said, I don't think we've dealt with this before. It's a very strange, very difficult thing, I think. And I watched that game, Jason, and I wanted to go back to a conversation. Like, look, I'm not trying to get Chris Verlaud to like Tyrese Haliburton. He doesn't like Tyrese Haliburton, and that's his right to not like Tyrese Haliburton. And I don't care that he doesn't like Tyrese Haliburton, but it fascinates me that he doesn't like Tyrese Haliburton, because unless I'm missing something, is there any player in the NBA that is more inherently a professional wrestler mentally than Tyrese Haliburton? Like, and Chris loves all of that stuff. And for Haliburton, I didn't notice, guys, as much that he did the choke sign. Like, great, we all noticed that. What stuck out to me, he immediately, without hesitation, as soon as the ball went through the net, did the choke sign, knew exactly who to turn to. And that tells me he thought that entire moment through and was praying that he would have the opportunity in Madison Square Garden to be a heel. And it shocks me that Chris doesn't like that.
Oh, so he Jason Tatumed it and just copied someone else's celebration and thought it out beforehand.
Sure. Again, this isn't me trying to say, Chris, you really need to like again, totally, you're right. You're right to do it and feel however you want. It just really surprises me, because I feel like Tyrese Haliburton is the type of player that you would absolutely love, because he gets what the situation is and he loves being a heel. He is a troll like you are. And you don't like it. And I feel like if Tyrese Haliburton was here with the Kings doing all of this, he might be your favorite player in the league. Is that wrong?
I don't know, maybe.
I have to respect it. I mean, well, obviously I respect what Chris is saying, but Jason, I respect it. I respect what Tyrese Haliburton is doing. I respect that he's created these chips on his shoulder, whether it's the Kings shipping him off, whether it's being called the most overrated player in the league. Tyrese Haliburton has acquired a big bag of ruffles on his shoulder, and he's making all-time moments. So we will see. We'll take a break. When we